boy, have we got something exciting today. It's gonna be fire and excitement. This is gonna be even more than the normal amount of fire and excitement that we normally have. So what I wanted to show is like people are like, oh hey, you know, you can use Caswells to fill in a fount and fix some of the pinholes and stuff like that. And you know, I've always said that if you have like one pinhole, you've got a whole bunch of other ones just waiting to show up in various stages somewhere down the road. So basically, once it starts failing, it's just going to keep on failing. And how good is that that compound? It's sealing it off and preventing the other ones from showing up, or preventing the ones that are existing from progressing further. I don't know. I don't know if I want to take a pressure vessel filled with gasoline with something that is on fire above it, and subject that to the whims of whether things are going to go right or go wrong. I just kind of look at it and say, well, you know, if there's a problem with this fount and it has a pinhole in it, then it needs to be retired. This is a 242 fount that I bought as a find out at one of the antique shows, and it was like really great until we tapped on it a little bit with the hammer, and we discovered this problem here, which is really disappointing because the nickel on here is in really nice shape. So this fount is pretty much completely trashed. So what I wanted to do is I want to cut out the bottom of this in here so you can see exactly how bad that looks. I mean, obviously there's a lot of thinning in this area, and there's a mariachi band of parts and pieces in here. So what I want to do is I've got a plasma cutter, and I'm going to go ahead and cut this out, and then we'll take a look on the inside and see how it looks, and maybe that'll kind of prove the point of like, yeah, you really don't want to trust those, even though you've got this one spot here. Obviously this one's not repairable, right? It's never going to be fixed, so this is why I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. But you'll probably see over here on this side across from it, there's a lot of pitting here that you just wouldn't have even known was there, just because it doesn't look like it's made it all the way through yet. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to start off with that. As I'm sitting here, I think I've pretty much passivated this. I did, it's been empty for a while. It does appear to be dry of fuel. I did spray some brake cleaner in there, and so my concern is that since that's a bit of a chlorinated solvent, I probably should use some sort of a mask. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that real quick. So hopefully I won't run off the end of my leash here and pull my camera over. So this is a P100 mask for welding, and so it'll definitely filter that kind of stuff out, and or at least trap it. So yeah, it should do the trick. So we're gonna go ahead and move over to the welding table, right? So let's do that. I'm just gonna do all this live because, you know, there's not much of a camera crew here. It's just kind of me. So I'm gonna set this down here. Get the screen to come on, see if I've got you guys on there. Looks like you are. So that's pretty good. So here's our fount. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the plasma cutter here. And we're gonna go ahead and get the cutting. I may be a little bit muffled here, but hopefully you can still kind of hear me. Gonna grab my gloves here real quick. Some eye protection. Plasma cutters aren't anything like welders, so you don't need nearly as much safety gear for these, but you still should have some hand protection, especially with this one here. If this does have something in it, then we're going to go ahead and want to be able to put it out. I've got some water behind me. Hopefully the plasma arc won't mess too much with the recording. If the audio goes bad, sorry about that. Here we go. Okay, let's see if we can pry that out. Well, needs a little bit more condensing. Yep, that gets hot the other way. I think we may be getting there. Yeah. Obviously getting quite hot, but that is the bottom of this out of here. Melted a little bit of solder in there too while we're at it. So let's see. Let's shut this off. And I can dispense with these. Probably not the gloves though, but I can take the mask off for sure. Right, okay, that's better. Set that down. So here you can kind of see the solder that's inside there, and there's also a pretty significant amount of rust and everything else that's coming out. Everything else is all still pretty hot in there, and so let's go back over to the other bench. I need to put a piece of cardboard down so I don't melt my bench. So I'll go ahead and move that, and then we can look at this in a little more detail. So I'll guess just basically show you through this camera here. So this is the this is where we saw the big hole, and on the other side of this here, we can see how much of this is really pitted really badly, and quite a bit weakened. So there's not a whole lot left there. So yeah, this is what you don't see, and this is what you're hoping that the Caswells will seal up. Now the rest of this is made with brass, and then it's coated with nickel, and so basically it's unharmed. It looks perfectly fine, and there's really nothing wrong with it, and I wouldn't expect anything to be wrong with it. There's a little bit of that solder that did melt out in there, but yeah, so you can see the whole pump there. You can kind of see, it's probably going to be really difficult. I might have to pick you guys up and point you in there. So let me do that real quick. But you can kind of see that there's the little air tube pointing up toward the top there, and that's where the air from the pump goes in. So it goes up to the very top. That's what gets clogged, and that's one of the ones that if it gets clogged, you're kind of basically you're kind of screwed really, unless you can blow it out with some high pressure air. Let me shut this back up. So anyway, that's kind of it. I just wanted to do a quick one. The plasma cutter is pretty cool. Obviously, I'm not a pro at it, but it does do a pretty nice job. It didn't damage a single thing else in there other than melt a little bit of solder. So yeah, if I wanted to electrify something, then this is one that's easy to start with. And the other thing about this that's good is that this also prevents anyone else from trying to fix it, because this is an unfixable type of thing. So anyway, that's it. This is going to be just a quick little one. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you enjoyed the spark show and everything else. And until next time, keep them lit.